then after XUV and after Thar, then how did it? Was there any further evolution for you in performance?
Oh yes, we did a lot of work. That getting the Mahindra team made us get a lot of other work, and a lot of people started coming, and that I think the trust factor, and already performance had its brand. It's already had its name.
I still remember. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you in the middle because I remember some of the crazy builds that you guys had done. This was something that looked like an aerial atom, and it had a 1.6 engine, and it had a crazy exhaust note that you had made me listen to.
Oh yes, this was a
वो
buggy that we
एंटर
had made.
हाँ लेफ्ट
Yeah.
में ही खड़ी हुई थी.
So that was a buggy Raj had made much before I joined. He had bought this design from,
अच्छा, it was before only. Oh,
but
okay.
we finished it later. But it was
Okay.
not never the project was never finished.
Okay.
And so we took. He just one of his another challenges Raj keeps on throwing at you. Okay, this has been standing now. Let's build it. So we opened it, started doing again, rebuilding it, and we finished that project too. Yes, you're right. The crazy exhaust note. It was beautifully designed exhaust. And on
I'm yet to figure out honestly कि ऐसा क्या किया था उसके अंदर आपने कि वो 1.6 और इंजन किसका
Baleno
था?
engine.
Baleno engine.
Baleno
हाँ.
engine, Baleno transmission.
And the
But
damn
whole
thing was not sounding anything less than a V6.
But the whole design was very different. The mufflers used were different. The length of the pipes bent and 4x2 cylinders, not one. So that whole division was done pretty. Took a couple of trying up, cutting again, putting again, but came out very nice. Yeah. But yeah, that was Raj's design, and he was. I will not take any credit of that, but you helped him
Of course.
finished it, and it was, and it's a beautiful. When it runs really, really well. I mean, it's really grounded. So you're so close to the ground, you feel the speed. Sense of speed is much more, and cornering is amazing in that, and you don't have any fear of overturning or anything. It's more or less square. It's done very good and a beautiful design. That also is a beautiful project. And again, an eye catcher everywhere you go. But these are the learning curves. These are the beautiful times that I had in performance. And with all the Formula One coming in, the other things started coming in because I was doing fire and rescue there, and then JK races comes to India.
So fire and rescue you were doing alongside
Fire and rescue is where I met Raj, and when I met for Formula One again.
Okay.
I mean, I knew Raj for many years, but we met again for the first Formula One.
Okay.
He was heading for fire and rescue.
Okay.
JD was recovery, and other people doing other track and everything.
Okay. Okay.
So I just joined Raj as a fire and rescue. Initially, I was just a marshal, taking care of one fire engine, standing at turn 12 or something. And the next race came in, more races came in, then slowly Raj started introducing me to the race control. And I started learning that. It's again a crazy thing in a race control. You have 56 screens plus 4 big screens.
I remember.
And you have to keep a track of what is going on anywhere. You're the eyes for every marshal on the track for you. So I still believe it's a great experience. Although I joke to everybody and say that although I'm at the track, but I'm watching on TV because you can't hear anything outside. You know what is happening. So, but yeah, the initial Formula One, I was on the track. Second one also, I was on the track for some time. Best seats in the house to watch Formula One. Again, your craze about motorsport comes out. That V8 engines were amazing. I was the pit chief. I remember the second time, and in the pit is the craziest place to be. When all the cars in the place.
So as a pit chief. I mean, I'll come to the fire marshalling part a little later, but as a pit chief, what were your responsibilities there?
Well, as a pit chief, you have to make sure all your fire marshal on the pit are always awake.
Okay.
There are set rules that how much fuel each team can keep inside the pit. Not inside the pit ever, but outside spare fuel.
Okay.
They never follow the rules. They keep extra and they keep it outside. It's a fire hazard.
Okay. Okay.
You have to keep a track of that. When the cars come in, they're really hot, and that's the time you have to be close to the cars with the fire extinguishers, because that's the time because the fuel is really flammable.
Correct.
And very high octane. And all the cars that come in, first 3 cars normally after the race come in for scrutiny. So the cars are parked there only. So, and it's all exposed, Formula One. So you have to stand there, take care of things. Pit is also the place all the eyes are, all the media is there. Anything goes wrong, the blame comes to the team. So you have to be extra assertive about everything. You have to check the fire extinguishers that are already there. You have to teach the fire. Also, they already know, all the teams know. But you have to make sure they know again where the fire extinguishers are before you reach. If they are close to it, they can use it. So it's all the VIPs movement is over there. So the extra attention is always there. So it's a job where you cannot relax during the whole race. And being a pit chief, that I think the whole pit is 500 meters long, of the garages, and you keep going and have to keep walking up and down, checking all your marshals, and all the pit marshals and the pit chief are there on the track with the cylinders when the cars are about to start to race. Okay, when the grid is formed.
Yeah.
And then you rush in, everybody rushes in. So there's a radio contact, you have to make sure, okay, there are 3 seconds left, you clear the pit now. 4 seconds left, clear the pit now. That also, again, because everybody is revving their engines, heating up their tires, warming up the engines. Again, a very dangerous area where things can go wrong immediately. So only the pit guys are there, all the pit marshals are there. So the pit chief, you have to make sure all of them are there, standing in the right position, awake. Because there's a lot of dancing and a lot of glamour also going on there, it's easy for them to start looking somewhere else. So you make sure they keep focus, and you also stay focused on the cars and just the cars or anything happening over there.
But then on as a pit chief, you mentioned that you have multiple pit marshals that you need to take care of. How many of them would there be?
In a typical Formula One race, there will be at least about 20 of them on the pit only.
So, is it you who chooses those pit marshals, or is there like an examination that happens?
All
for them?
marshals are equal.
Okay.
All fire marshals go through the same training, and you just, yes, of course, when there's a group, you just met them maybe 2 days before that or 3 days before that.
Okay.
You don't know exactly what is it, but yes, we try and keep some more experienced ones.
So who chooses
we
these
don't-
pit marshals?
It's just nothing like nobody chooses a pit marshal. It's just the pit chief or the fire and rescue chief. When I'm the chief, I choose them. Whose duty is where? Everybody's duties are there. It is not just the pit that is important. For us, every post is important.
Right.
Okay. We need experienced marshals on every post. Out there, accidents will happen more often than they'll happen here. This being the high octane area,
Yeah.
So you have to be and lot of rush, lot of people here. On the track, it's only the car, maybe
True.
2 cars in collision. Out here, there's a grandstand right across. There are all the engineers, staff. But around the car, the people are there. Hundreds of people are there. So you just have to choose people who are more attentive, more who don't, and who understood the job very well. Who know the seriousness of the matter.
Right.
Outside, you will get some time. Out here, you won't get time. In the pit, because it's crowded. It's absolutely crowded. On a typical Formula One race day, there is press, there is engineers, there are VIPs, there are people, stewards, flag marshals, start marshals, FMSC, FIA people. It's like a whole mela going on there. So any incident happening can relate to a lot of other damages, not just the car. So you take on a track, it's equally for us. Everything is important. Out there, if it is collision or one car goes off the track, it's only one car. Okay, there are no other people involved in it, so you can concentrate on that and take it out.
But pit में तो ये है
पिट में तो बहुत रश है, तो इतना रश है और कुछ भी हुआ तो collateral damage will be a lot.
बहुत ज़्यादा.
So you need a lot of more pressure there.
And there is very high potential of multiplication of damage.
Exactly. So it can be a chain effect. Then all the cars standing there. It's a domino effect. Then. So, but touch wood, nothing towards it happened till now. All these guys are also, all the teams are very high professionals. I mean, they are much ahead of what we can think. These guys are really, really thorough with their jobs. Yes, they try to, bypass the rules of the basic rule of keeping so much fuel or not keeping so much fuel. You have to fight it, then that's it. But they listen to you. Once you go as a fire marshal inside and you say anything, fire marshals are the only people who don't need race control's permission to enter the track. If you see, your first thing is to save the life.
Correct.
Okay, so you don't wait for orders. All the guys know this.
It's like an ABS.
So you just see smoke, you blow it up with anything you want, foam or anything. You can just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought there was a fire happening," and the driver will also not say anything to you because his life is also in this thing.
But tell me one thing, as a chief, because normally what I've known is, in case of a general fire, the fire marshals out here, कहीं घर पे आग लग जाए, कहीं पे भी आग लग जाए, तो all of these fire marshals who come in the fire extinguisher, they are like highly trained guys, and the chief is even more educated and trained on it. So how was it for you? I mean, when you entered into being a chief,
we went through a whole. These guys from Bahrain, the whole team had come, and they gave us a thorough training of all the equipment.
Okay.
We had went through classes and practice of demo fires and being extinguished with foam, water, CO2. We didn't know what this is. None of these guys who came, they were all new. College going guys or office going guys interested in motorsport came. So for fire and rescue, for recovery, like who had driven a JCB before? So there were people who had come who trained us. There was a whole training before the Formula One, the 10-15 day training that happened. So there was a lot of effort and money put into it by JP and the team.
I'm sure, because what I understand is response time is everything.
Oh yes.
There, every single second counts in case of a fire.
Absolutely. So that is what we are. There is a timekeeper. Every time an incident happens, his job is to just see what the response time was. Recovery team, fire team, doctors, everything. So there's a whole teamwork that happens. Okay. So, and fortunately, there is no bad incident that happened in Formula One except a couple of cars going haywire and all that. But another JK Racing, the LGB's single seater, and the last race couple of years ago, I was the chief that time. I was sitting, Raj was traveling, so I was the chief in the race control. So we had a very skeleton crew of fire marshals because it's a small race, not a big race, not like Formula One.
This was in South India, right?
Oh, no, BIC only. Okay. I don't go to South. So BIC only. LGB is running in JK Sport Race. One on turn one went off, and I had thankfully a veteran marshal who was with me since Formula One in the fire truck there with his guy. We just told them to. And in the morning only, I was given a whole lecture by the stewards, FMSA stewards, that you guys don't know anything. So my answer was that they're all new guys, not Formula One guys. We know what it is, but a lot of college going boys, we could give them small training, half an hour. So, but they said, okay, give them. But I said, but I know on strategic points, I have my own marshals and they will take care of it. And this LGV went off on the side, and it so happened that camera on my side, I could see the fire. And the guy who came running toward the can was there on time. I'm telling him on the walkie-talkie to blow cans. He blew 3 cans. Nothing happened. So normally we avoid putting powder in, because if you spray powder in a car, that car is gone forever, because powder goes in everywhere and that's a waste now. So even if we are trained to put 1 or 2 foams, and if push comes to shove. But having said that, even if the first guy, whatever hand he comes into, he can pick up all the 3 cans are lying there always. Water, CO2 and foam. Okay. So अब जल्दी में जो भी हाथ में वो लेके मार दे, कोई मना नहीं करेगा उसको. But they normally take care. They pick up the yellow can, the foam and all that.
Because on that now, what my knowledge tells me that CO2, water, and the third one is which one?
Water is only for water meth in the car, in the Formula One, to cool the system. It starts heating up. They have the regenerating system where the electric brakes are regenerated. So that is a water meth. Water and methane is used. They have these coolers. Water is never put on the fire until it's a fire truck which gives fire.
Right. वो तो फिर hydrant हो जाता है
But
basically. Correct.
Otherwise, there is foam, CO2, and this thing, powder.
Powder. So हाँ, so foam, CO2 and powder. As far as I remember, उसमें भी कुछ ऐसा होता है कि अगर electrical है तो you are not supposed to use one of them.
अभी वो that is water again. Electrical यहाँ पे वो electrical कुछ है नहीं, हम use ही नहीं करते. Also CO2 is there, but CO2 is no good in the open environment.
So can you tell me a little bit कि भी which one out of these three is used for what kind of application?
See, foam is all fuel related engine. This thing, petrol, powder and foam are the best.
Okay.
CO2 always is the best, but it works only in closed environments. If you can go close, because what idea of CO2 is to kill the oxygen.
I see.
But if you're in the open, the oxygen is never getting killed. More air is coming. But yes, temporarily you can, if you have nothing else, you can just blow it very close to the fire. You don't go as close. It'll just douse it and then you put foam on it.
But then if you have powder and foam, why would you would not use CO2, right?
We won't. But if you're running out of powder and foam, then the other one is coming.
I see.
Like there were 3 cans, this guy finished, and I could see fire from this side, and I just told him, okay, go with the powder, because we have to see the response time. You see, people have come to watch a race, not an accident.
Correct.
So we have to clear the track. The moment something like this comes out, safety car comes out, all the cars have to stay behind the safety car. That's a boring race, you know, because they're counting the laps.
Yeah.
Laps are still happening. So we have to keep everything in mind. So visitors have come, the competitors are there, other people have come to compete. Now the guy can't overtake anybody. He must be coming first, but he's standing in the fourth right now, and he's behind a safety car. So he will fight. So we have to clear the track immediately. So I just told them, okay, powder. He heard powder and he just blew powder. Once powder is in, it's gone. So before while the powder was going on, I told the recovery guys to start moving. So all this happened in 16 seconds.
Oh my God.
Okay, the recovery started in 16 seconds. There was a standing ovation in the race control. So because you have to keep your head there. You can't. If I panic, my guys out there will panic. Okay, so you have to keep the calm, although you're absolutely gone inside. Okay, क्या होगा आपके? Because nothing is in your hand except your mic. Okay?
Correct.
You can just guide the guy.
Yeah.
But that is what the whole race control means. You have to keep calm, still keep telling calm, and you have to keep the view on other screens while this is going on. You know, so, but this happened. It cleared out. Yes, the guys, they were all, you know, half a lap must have gone, maybe 1/4 lap, and the cars were back to racing.
Okay.
This is what we like to find it. Okay, the driver is safe. You go out, car's gone out, and you start working. That is what race control is all about. So, the idea is to stay. You know, you should know where your cars are standing, where your marshals are standing, where the cans are lying, which is the fastest person to approach. You know, they will just listen to you. Although Fire 2 knows that they are the fastest, but if I say Fire 4, go to this turn, if I say it's wrong, that guy will make a U-turn and come out and all that. Fire 3 will not move. Fire 3 knows only when I'm called help. If they're calling for F4, there must be some reason. So even if you're wrong, they will follow you. So they're not supposed to use their own brain whenever possible. They can always ask you, I'm closer, can I go in and all that. But that loses time. Your decisions are important that time. Again, I learned this from sitting with Rajan and all that, how calmly he would handle everything. You know. Gradually followed suit, whatever was said. Again, great opportunities is given.
And I think, so scrutiny, as a scrutineer, you have been into scrutiny of rally vehicles and autocross vehicles and maybe many more other vehicles. This is since how much time have you been doing this?
So scrutiny started, Raj wanted help, Raj and Northern Motorsports basically wanted help in the scrutiny because I was technically handling the workshop and all that. And so initially both of us could not leave the workshop and go. He had to go. Only at the start I would be there. And there was a big rush. So without any prior knowledge of scrutiny, what scrutiny is, although knowledge in the part that when I made the cars, I had to make them scrutiny okay. So I had studied scrutiny, what is required in a scrutiny. What is what is safety required, what the belt, seats, roll cages, what kind of thing. All because I built the car on that scrutiny items. So Raj requested me that the big rush, why don't you go and help him? Although you won't be signing or stamping anything, you pass the scrutiny and give the card to the scrutineer. Because there was a lot of rush and we had less time, it will be a little faster. Started doing scrutiny like that, and somewhere around that, a year or down or so, Raj just suddenly one day tells me, okay, we have an exam on scrutiny exam on so and so day in about 2 weeks. I said, there's a rally about to happen. I've got 20 cars standing here. Where do I get the time to study? He said, you go and study all the tech regs and all that. There is a proper exam that you have to go through. So I literally one day before, when it came to me, tomorrow is the exam. I opened the books and all the net and all that, all the links and everything.
Like the backbenchers do it.
Yeah. So, but I had a heads up because I was building cars and I knew what I had read those tech regs for the building the cars. Like I said initially, I was never used to like reading, but when I got to building rally cars, I had no choice but to go read their rules and go make the car according to rules. Otherwise, my cars will fail. There are set. I mean, FMSCA, FIA, the governing body, has made rules. And the rules keep changing. Somewhere in the world, one accident will happen or something will go wrong somewhere. So they will put an amendment to that rule. It usually comes as a bulletin or an extra to those rules. They don't change the original rules because every time they can't change the book. So they just in the original rules, they just mark it as yellow. And yellow means now a new rule has come for this. So you have to go fight that rule and study and make changes accordingly. They might have added one cross member in the roll cage. So if you have to be updated with that, every time keep reading that. So when you keep going through it, more or less you understood what it is, what they want. And primarily scrutiny is safety.
Okay.
First part. It just helmets, roll cages, suits, shoes, they're all FIA approved, how the roll cage should be made, how to check the roll cage, how the seat is mounted, and all that stuff.
Okay.
The technical side of it comes when, as a scrutineer, you're scrutinying, and initially, if you come to me and you say, I'm running a 1600cc car or 1300cc car, I will not challenge you. You are in this class, you agreed that I'm in this class. I will just do a scrutiny of your safety. That the car is prepared well, the tires are in good condition, there's no leaks, there are no loose parts in the car, safety wise. So later, when you win, or somebody doesn't like you, they come and tell you very clearly, they come and tell me as a protest, with a written protest with earnest money or something, that I think competitor number one is running a 1600 engine, but he's running in a 1300 class. So then we call you. Once the written protest comes, we go to the steward, we all sit and decide, okay, call the guy. Then we call you, and if you agree, you're disqualified. Otherwise, we open the engine. Okay, and then the engine, then there is a whole process of how we measure the CC, how we measure the pistons, how we measure the gear ratios. All that's the technical side of it that you have to again study and go pass it and all that.
So initially, you just acknowledge whatever the racer is telling you.
Because there is no way you can open the engine and check whether it's 39cc or not. You have to go by your word.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything that you could not check is open now. It's free. Like remapping of a car is free. Because there is no way you can open an ECU check whether it's mapped or not. So it's free. So you can even a stock car can use it, remapping. So initially scrutiny is when you come for a competition, pre-event scrutiny is only safety scrutiny.
I see.
Okay, you can tell them that I feel you're in the wrong group, but you don't never tell them, okay, change your group. You can't, as an officer, I can't. Scrutineer, I can't. I can suggest, I think you're in the wrong group. I can tell them that, okay, I think you're in the wrong class.
Got it.
You might be, you have protest, please go and study, and maybe you've not seen the rules properly or whatever. Because having said the classes, there is a final word is the SRs, the statutory regulations of that event, which the organizer made, and he sent to FMSCA to get some omissions. Okay, please exclude this thing, this from this class and all that. Whether he's got a yes or no, you study the SR and go before the event, of course. But so the rules supersedes rules, it's a lot of things. Again, because we've been doing it for so many years, talking about it so easy. So when you're there, you actually have to do it. Again, you make a straight face and keep doing it. But there are a lot of things going in your head. Did I check this? Did I check that? Because at the end of the day, somebody protests in a rally, especially a cross-country rally. If I don't check the thickness of the pipe, there are gauge meters. You put it on that sonic meters.
So there is always a chance that somebody can play. And
So even if sometimes the competitor doesn't know. He's the car built by somebody else. He sent it on his good faith to a builder who made the car or the roll cage. That guy cut corners somewhere, used an old pipe or something. Okay. So having said that, it has happened.
but जैसे अगर मैं आपको
But
claim
the
करता
car
हूँ,
turns, car overturns,
हाँ,
roll cage bends. I am the first person who's called there, or the car is brought to me as a chief scrutineer to check,
okay,
because I passed that car. Okay. So what I didn't see that the car roll cage is not on the design is tried and tested. It is by FIA. The design prima facie looks good. So if there is a gauge meter, of course I can't check every inch, but randomly we do put everywhere and check if the thickness of the material is enough.
got it.
Right. So anything, the seat broke off, the mount was not right, like the sliding is not allowed. But people say that I'm too short, getting inside the car is difficult for me, and then I have to push the car back seat. That is not a comfortable car anyways. You have to be firm there and say no, rules are rules. Because he will today go for his own fun, because for his ease of getting inside the car. In the middle of it, his car overturns and his seat breaks off, and his head hit somewhere or the other.